Doctors, what was the best excuse you've heard for someone having something stuck in their ass? Guy came in with a cordless phone up his ass, like one of the old school ones from 15 years ago. He said that when he was in the kitchen bending over opening the oven door, someone threw it through his open window and it just went right up. Related, Guy puts a vibrator, one of the massive cordless one types, way up there, like a mega seed, and it gets sucked into the sigmoid colon. When he gets to me in the ear, I asked him how he was feeling. He answered, "Well doc, I'm way better since the batteries died. Made my night. I stuck it up there on purpose and now it's stuck. Please help." It was a perfectly honest and valid reason for have something stuck up your ass, and we helped. No further questions needed. Guy told me he was constipated, so he stuck the broom handle up there to break up the poop. I almost believed him. Edit. It was half of a broom handle, cut off and wrapped in electrical tape, all the way inside his ass. When I was a student working in a guy came in with an unraveled wire hanger stuck and hooked up there. He said he was trying to fish out the vibrator he lost. Presented at in Sydney with carrot stuck in the ass. Doctor, what happened? Patient, I heard a noise in the garden. Went to investigate. Slipped and fell over. Carrot went up my bum. Doctor, carrots grow upside down out your way, huh? I am a nurse, a male as well. Guy came to my hospital with a cue ball stuck in his rectum. Said him and his wife were having sex and this happened. Made no excuses and showed no shame. A doc was unable to remove it with forceps and he had to get anesthesia to have a minor surgical procedure to get it out. My job was basically to just go through a pre-surgical checklist and send him on his way. When I'm done he shouts excitedly, "All right, let's get this ball rolling." I almost died laughing. It was near the end of my shift and I always wonder what happened to him. I'm sure he did fine and is back to having amazing kinky sex with his wife. It always boils down to the person accidentally sat on it. The best my dad saw minus a former emergency doctor minus was a young guy who accidentally sat on a giant tub of Vaseline. Accidentally. I asked how doctors record that in their patient files, and the common way to do so is to say the patient claims to have sat on X object. Edit. My dad's thrilled that his story has touched so many of you. I took a walk outside and something just flew into my ass. There was a news story in my country. A man went to the ER and they discovered that he drunkenly put 2 hammerheads in his ass. His reasoning being that he ate a jar of preserved cherries with pits and then had abdominal pain and wanted to smash the pits. Paramedic. Here. Had one guy tell me he slipped on a banana peel and landed on the upright vase on the floor. He then proceeded to produce a banana peel for good measure. Edit. My first gold and a couple other goodies. I'm really happy that you all enjoy a good laugh from my career this far. Jesus Christ, my moment has come. A friend of mine used to work in a dispatch call center for emergency services. In these call centers there needs to be a triage nurse on site to deal with life-threatening situations. So my mate tells me about this story she had, where a man came in with a garden gnome up his hoop. His story was that he went shopping and locked himself out the house, so needed to climb back in through the second floor window, fell back, and got entered by the gnome. I mean, the gnome was inside his pants, like there was no gnome-shaped hole in his pants, but whatever minus let's call it a miracle. So anyway, they get this gnome out, fishing rod and all, patch him up and send him on his way. 3 hours later a different dude comes in with the same problem and the same story. After cutting through the bullshit they determined the 2 blokes had been nomming each other, realized they both needed doctors, arranged to go to different hospitals with this 200X story, and one of them got mixed up. Still makes me laugh to this day. Edit. Me no tried good. So I actually once did fall naked in my bedroom and my ass cheek smashed hard onto the end of a small dumbbell that was angles up at. I'm coming to realize after reading all of this that had it hit the bullseye, no one would fucking believe me. Saw someone with a remote control stuck way up in their colon. She said she was getting herself ready for anal sex with her boyfriend and then it got stuck. The kicker was that she showed up to the hospital with her boyfriend and her husband in tow. My sister is a surgical nurse and a guy came into the hospital with a pool noodle shoved up his ass. It was so deep that they had to cut open his abdomen, intestines and colon to cut the foam out of him. He said he fell on it while swimming nude. But when they cut him open it had a condom stretched over the end of it. When they confronted him he said, "Please don't tell me, wife." Edit. Wow, thank you everyone for the upvotes and awards. This is my sister's favorite or story to tell. She tells about all the things she's seen after she had a few drinks, but this one is the best one. A nurse. I tried to dig something out of my ass with a BBQ skewer. Skewer got stuck. Ripped a hole in his intestines. He waited so long to come in he was septic. One stat or visit and an AQ stay later. Please don't call my mom. Guy was tripping hard on LSD. The best one I've heard is a priest who had peeled a potato and left it on the side for his dinner. He decided to hang the curtains back up while nude. And fell off the step ladder onto it. It was in the UC paper years ago. If I find it I'll post the source. A college friend who is an OR nurse said the best thing she ever witnessed was a small snow globe with the message "World's Greatest Dad" on the inside. Fell down some stairs and someone left a dildo on the bottom. My ex is a nurse. One night she sent me a pic of her computer of what she was working on. One 6-year male brought in by his mother. Shoved a sausage up his ass and lost it. Imagine the embarrassment of telling mom, "Hey mom, I lost a sausage in my ass. Can you take me to the fucking kids?" Not quite the same, but I was in a lecture where someone asked a doctor the strangest foreign body he'd removed, and he said removing a whole carrot from a rectum was pretty memorable. Girl next to me piped up, "How did someone swallow a whole carrot? Oh, you sweet summer child." Not an excuse, but a medic told me that they have contests about what is the most unexpected thing they pulled out of butts. The winner was a guy that put an electric Christmas decoration, the ones you wrap around the tree. In her own words, the legend doesn't say whether he plugged it or not. I should have asked what the excuse was for that one. Worked on ambulances. Not a doctor. Mostly bottles or vegetables. The aubergine was the biggest, but potatoes and carrots seemed to be popular. Ketchup, mayo and glass color bottles were common at one point. Also one butt plug and a toilet brush. The last two were honest and very distraught. Others all had naked gardening stories. There's an even worse question you haven't asked, which is for things people have shoved up their urethras. Only men in my experience. Jack was nimble. Jack was quick. Jack fell while jumping over a candlestick and the doctor was like, "Really light?" A light bulb. You could always tell when someone came into the OR with something large in their rectum because everyone would be standing around looking at the X-ray. It was still in perfect light bulb shape. I have no idea how the patient got it up there without breaking it. Worked with an ex-paramedic who told me a guy was cleaning his son's room while nude because his only set of clothes were in to wash while his son was at school. Slipped on a sock and ended up getting Buzz Lightyear stuck up his ass. I asked the important question, of course. Were the wings extended? He didn't answer, but we both rocked with laughter. Not an ass, but a vagina. I was doing my clinical rotation in 3rd year. Did a cervical assessment on 36W pregnant woman who thought she was in labor minus painful cramping, plus discharge. I found 8 gloves of garlic. She thought she could avoid group B strep with it. She read it online. She thought they would dissolve. 1- you can't avoid GBS like this. 2- they turn to slime mush bulbs. They don't dissolve. She was not in labor. She was responding to an infection. A nasty one. She was admitted for fluids, object removal, meds, and monitoring of fetus for treatment overnight. I finished my 2-4H shift before the next tab wrapped up. Cramping stopped very soon after we got it all out. Last I saw her she was just feeling sad and dumb. I felt really awful for her. She was trying to do the right thing for her pregnancy. GBS-gut bacteria found in 1/3 of adults at any time. Some tries screen for its presence because in rare cases it does nasty things to baby if they get colonized at birth. My brother was a triage nurse and examined someone that came in with a Barbie doll up their ass. Don't know if they were male or female though. My mom was a nurse and always remembered the guy whose wife was out of town, so he was cooking naked and slipped and fell on a potato. I'm not that kinder doctor, but highly relevant story. My friend said she lost a butt plug up, well, her butt. That shouldn't be a big deal minus first. I don't know how it's possible, but she claimed it was a little one, and given how upset she was telling the story after, I believe she did lose it. I just don't understand it. She said a dude had her tied up like a fucking mummy using duct tape. I'm not exaggerating here. Her words. And dude literally breaks character and says, "Do you remember if I put the butt plug in or took it out?" And long story short, they are both blitzed as fuck, so have to call a friend to drive them to the hospital to get it out. Except, she's embarrassed as fuck and doesn't wanna go. So dude shows up and the dumb dude remembers. Hey, aren't you a medical professional? And guy is like, yeah. And they recruit random dude to fist her ass and recover it. And he does. But dude turns out to be a homeopath and has no training. Very little experience retrieving sheep from asses. Anyhow, she said they then ended up just double teaming her, since why not? I asked the obvious question. So double simultaneous anal. And she told me not to be gross. Merry Christmas, Friday night, you degenerates. Subscribe, like and comment if you hate outros, begging you to subscribe, like and comment.